First meeting, January 21st, 2025, Williamson County School Board. Welcome. Board members, please record your attendance. Okay, we're going to open up with the pledge. And Dennis Driggers, would you lead us, please?
Follow after me.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. Okay, the first order today is public speakers. We've got 8 so far, and that's what we'll have, and you'll have 3 minutes, and it's recorded on right at the podium, so you can keep an eye on your time. We appreciate it if you'd go by the guidelines. So the first one up, Carol.
Yes, sir, Mr. Cash. Anjali Babu, if you'll come on up.
Hello, I'm Anjali Babu, Vice President of Social Activities of Brentwood High School DECA. DECA is a student-led organization that prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs for careers in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management. My fellow officers and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about DECA's impact on Williamson County schools and to thank you for your support of us. 8 high schools in our district have a DECA chapter, and members have the chance to compete in local, state, and international competition, participate in community service projects, build leadership skills by serving as officers, and to learn more about a variety of career paths. With over 1,400 members in Williamson County schools, DECA chapters are helping many students gain the confidence and experience that they need to be successful in their chosen fields. Thank you.
Your next speaker is Akshitha Mathalagan.
Hello, my name is Akshitha Mathialagan, Vice President of Hospitality at Brentwood DECA. Our chapter helps members get involved and make an impact on their community, whether through taking part in our school's annual trunk or treat for elementary schoolers or through making blankets for Blanket Nashville. Students engage with people from across our area, building relationships and organization skills that will last beyond graduation. Additionally, competitions provide awesome opportunities for members to work on presenting and receive feedback from business professionals. Competitors may choose to work on a project such as a startup business plan or marketing campaign, or to compete in a role-play scenario. Either way, this experience prepares students for job interviews and presentations. We are so excited that more than 500 Williamson County DECA members qualified to compete at the State Career Development Conference next month. Thank you.
Your next speaker is Arshia Malhotra.
Hi, I'm Arshia Malhotra, Vice President of Marketing of Brentwood DECA. Serving as a chapter officer allows students to learn how to lead others and organize events, and they can participate in the Tennessee CTSO chapter officer leadership training during the fall. All DECA members can attend field trips to hear from a variety of professionals. For example, the Tennessee Titans hosts a learning lab that teaches students about sports management, and Dollywood offers a similar experience relating to hospitality and tourism. Competitors can travel to Chattanooga for the State Career Development Conference and a variety of cities for the International Career Development Conference. These opportunities help members get excited about available career paths, so it's no wonder that according to DECA Inc., 91% of DECA members report that participation in DECA prepared them academically for college and a career.
And next up, we will have Lucy Wyatt.
Hello, I am Lucy Wyatt, President of Brentwood DECA. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. Before we close, we wanted to give a shout out to our 3 amazing advisors, Mr. Hunter Schmeiser, Miss Melissa Bayshore, and Miss Lisa Neese. Coach Schmeiser has been a Brentwood DECA advisor for the past 3 years, and he teaches Marketing 1 and Computer Applications classes. He is also a football coach. Miss Bayshore, and she is sitting in the green dress, has been a DECA advisor for the past 15 years, and she teaches accounting, business management, and social media marketing classes. She works tirelessly to oversee our awesome school coffee shop called the Bruins Den. Miss Neese, who is sitting in the pink, has been a DECA advisor for over 30 years. She has invested a lot of time and energy in her students, from teaching Marketing 2 and entrepreneurship classes to helping coordinate the State Career Development Conference. Fun fact, Miss Neese was a DECA member when she was in high school, and her readiness to serve as an advisor shows how involvement in DECA as a student fosters a desire to lead as an adult. Lastly, thank you, school board members and administration, for your support of DECA in schools. Your backing helps us continue to provide amazing career readiness programming for Williamson County students. Thank you.
The next 2 public speakers will be Nat King and Gary Goen.
Good evening. My name is Nate King, and I have 5 students currently enrolled in Williamson County schools. I'm also the uncle to 5 more enrolled in the schools. My wife is an employee of the school district, along with both of my sister-in-laws. My mother-in-law and father-in-law graduated from Franklin High School. I say this to let you know that we're bought into Williamson County schools, and what happens in this county is very important to us. This summer, I had the opportunity to, along with our athletic director at Franklin High School, Jay Johnson, to take my county commissioners and my school board representative, Donna Clements, on a tour of Franklin High School to see the athletic facilities there. I also brought this subject up in a meeting we had last summer with Mr. Golden with the athletic department's booster clubs within the county. The facilities at Franklin High School are below what the standard should be for 2025. Many of our areas have not been touched since the 1980s. You were provided with a packet this evening, I believe, and also emailed you earlier today pictures of the facilities at Franklin High School. There are over $650 million in the 5-year capital plan for new schools in the county. We are not at capacity. Looking at your numbers, we have close to 12,000 seats available in the county for students, yet we are trying to build 8 new schools in the next 5 years. We have schools that have not been touched in over 40 years when it comes to the facilities, and it's just time we start looking at this, because if we don't start looking now, what's going to happen is it's all going to pile up at one time. One of my county commissioners made the comment he has seen nicer prison facilities than we have for our students. The showers, as you can see from the picture, just 2 poles in the middle of a room for the boys' football, freshman football, and basketball locker rooms. The girls have stalls. There were new stalls the stalls were replaced in December. They didn't need to be replaced. We needed new showers. Our press box in the stadium's used over 50 times during the school year. We're putting a new roof on it this week. We don't need a new roof. We need a new press box. We need to look at how we're spending money in the county. The county now owns the baseball and softball facilities. We need new bleachers. I'm tired of asking parents to pay for things that the county should be paying for. The soccer team needed a new scoreboard. Parents had to fundraise for it. It's a $5,000 scoreboard. We're not talking about a jumbotron that we're seeing pop up at stadiums now. That's the kind of stuff that the county needs to be paying for. We're not asking for a $20 million football stadium. What we're asking for is facilities that represent 2025 and not 1980. Thank you.
Yes, hello, my name is Gary Coyne, that's C-O-I-N. I'll be very brief. I know you've already, I know you've already voted to ban or restrict several books in a special December school board meeting. I'm here to say I disagree with this ban and these restrictions. Just remember, when you try to ban something, it simply calls more attention to what you're attempting to suppress. It's human nature for people, especially young people, to pay more attention to something you don't want them to see, hear, or read. Thank you for your time.
We have two more public speakers, Kara Winburn and Theodore Pisa.
Hi, my name is Cara Winburn, and I'm here to address school lunches with you. First, I would like to tell you that about 5% of students are vegetarian, and about 2% of students are vegan. That means that at Trinity Elementary's roughly 700 students, about 35 of them are vegetarian. I got this information from uptodate.com and healthychildrens.org. This is not a very large number of vegetarians anywhere. But this isn't just about vegetarians. It's just about healthier school lunches overall. About 55% of students at Trinity buy lunch. So this is about better options for all. My research led me to find a graph by procaretherapy.com. This graph shows how healthy school lunches are in each specific state. And the state of Tennessee is 17th place out of 50 states. So it is a little bit over average. If even just one county changes to healthier lunch options, Tennessee's placement on the graph could go up. I've prepared a selection of easy-to-prepare, inexpensive, healthy, and delicious options. Egg sandwich wraps, which are about 11.8 grams of protein. Egg wraps, which are about 15 grams of protein. Lentil spaghetti, that is about 13 grams of protein. Spinach pasta, which is about 7.2 grams of protein. Bean burgers, which are about 9 grams of protein. Tomato and cheese sandwiches, which are about 19 grams of protein. And a side of edamame, which is about 17 grams of protein. The right food can boost student performance, and it's good to expand their taste buds at a young age. Thank you for your time.
I'll try to keep this brief. Hello, I'm Theo Pizza. I'm a gay father here in Franklin, Tennessee, and a parent of 2 in the system. It is an embarrassment how this board is making decisions on behalf of our children. Now, my orientation here shouldn't even matter, but it's worth acknowledging that parents like us exist when there are members of the board so openly ignorant. Our children deserve an education, not censorship, representation and not repression, taught acceptance and not intolerance. Last month, this board stealthily took it upon themselves to attack our rights and ban books. Book bans silence diverse voices and stifle progress. The immoral actions of those seated on this board, Donna, merit your resignation here tonight. It's wildly inappropriate to be colluding with partisan activists regarding access.
Can you please direct the speaker not to attack anyone on the board individually by name?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Welch.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's wildly inappropriate that we have members colluding with partisan activists regarding access to educational resources. This goes beyond an attack on education. It is an attack on our kids' futures. Red taping book access denies these kids a chance to learn about the complexities of this world and all of its nuance. And these bans erase voices who challenge ignorance, reclaim history, and celebrate diversity. And this board chose to embrace fear over critical thought. Myopic perspectives will see this as protecting innocent children. The truth is, this denies respect and belonging to anyone not meeting your standards of normal. This is cowardice dressed as control, trying to identify as leadership. Actions such as these are all thanks to the harmful gerrymandering tactics enabled by this state. There is no logical basis for holding school board general elections during the primary when there's low voter turnout. And it's time we ask the state to move them to the general election and give parents their voices back. And parents, we only get one chance to ever get it right, and now is one of those chances. And I hope we still have Republicans with dignity left to stand up to the mess. Demand better for our schools and demand Bill Lee do better by our kids. And this includes dismantling and eliminating the taxpayer-funded voucher scam he's pushing for so hard. We must not let ignorance and exclusion define the future of Tennessee, and nothing is going to be made great in this country through normalizing bigotry, censorship, and revisionism while we raid and burn down the libraries. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank all the public speakers and especially our students tonight. You guys did an outstanding job, just absolutely great. I'd like to thank our officers for being here, Mr. Eddie Cortris and Ale Hemyara. I hope I got it right. And what a great performance from the jazz band from Thompson Station Middle School. They have just, they've reached heights that no one could believe they could do, and Mr. C just keeps on plugging away and gets better and better. So thank you to all them. First order on the agenda will be approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion? Mr. Welch, second. Mr. Beasley. Let's see, do we have any discussion? No discussion. These will be a voice vote. All in favor of yes? Nays? None. Passed. Approval of the consent agenda. Do we have a motion? Okay. Mr. Bostic's motion. The second is Donna Clements. And this will also be a voice vote. And is there any discussion on this? Okay, let's go to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so moved. This is what we voted for the approval of the consent agenda. Approval of November 18, 2024 school board meeting minutes. Approval of December 9th, 2024 special called board meeting minutes. Report of annual review of board policies, annual agenda item. Approval of shade structure at Arrington Elementary. Approval of a shade structure at Scales Elementary. Approval of City of Franklin easement request for Innovation Hub project and recommendations for field trip fee requests. Communications, will Superintendent Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, board members. Just want to do a double check. Yeah, the microphone is on. I want to welcome those of you who are here for our January meeting. Mr. Chair and board members, you know we actually have one voting item on the agenda tonight, other than the consent agenda. It's an item that is on our annual agenda. We actually have another item on your annual agenda that the board approved back in November. That's our calendar for the next school year for 25-26. So if some of you have looked at their annual agenda to determine what our calendar will be like next year, that was already approved in November. We've got that posted on our website. The item, Mr. Chair, I will address in just a little bit when we hit that. But I did want to give you a little bit of a review of our work session last Thursday night. We had one voting item on the agenda, and we met until, if I'm not mistaken, about 10:30 p.m. And that seems like kind of classic, that's the process we'd go through. But we had a lot of discussion about some really key items last Thursday night, and I wanted to give just a brief mention and a reminder, especially to let folks know that if you'd like to go back and look, our work session times are on our website, and you can go back and review. So number one, we spent a good bit of time talking about special education, kind of with what I think of as a special education primer. We talked both about the federal parameters, and the emotional impact of our service to students with disabilities. We gave you guys some statistical information with that reminder that especially for our students with disabilities, every service we provide is personal. It is individualized. A lot of acronyms exist out there because of federal law, but the first acronym is that individualized education program, that we're making sure we give that individualized service to our students with disabilities. So for those of you who are interested, I definitely encourage you to go back and look at that. Look at that discussion at the work session. About 25% of our students have either an IEP, an individualized education program, either for a disability or as is described in Tennessee for giftedness, or a 504 plan, which is, you got the little nutshell of that, which is accommodations for students who have a disabling condition that might affect one or more major life activities. And we also provide, in addition to that, individualized health plans for students who have particular health needs. And I just want to reemphasize the importance of making sure that we take care of each one of our students on an individual basis. We also spent some time talking about our science textbook adoption, and we've been making sure we do that monthly as you all prepare to adopt science textbooks for the next 6 to 8 years, depending on the state schedule. We are going through that process right now. We are actually having review periods for our community members, for our stakeholders, parents, teachers, to review those books that the State Textbook Commission selected, that we have narrowed down, and that ultimately you all will vote on, if I'm not mistaken, in just a couple of months, in March. So I want to keep that on you all's radar. We added a little piece and sent a message to our families through our In Focus newsletter that we have links to some of the state selections on the state website. You can go to our webpage for the science textbook adoptions, click on that, find some electronic versions of the textbooks that the state has given us to choose from. So again, Mr. Chair, I encourage folks to look through that and through that process. We also had a discussion finally of our upcoming budget process. The County Commission is our funding body. They fund about 2/3 of our total budget. The state funds somewhere around 1/3, and usually we get maybe 1 to 2% of our budget funded from the federal government. We let you know that absent any substantial change at the state level, that if we are to give some projected pay increases that county government is working on, we are going to need their help. If we don't get additional funding from the state, it will take county government discussion. The County Commission Budget Committee has already started that discussion. We plan to bring to you our proposed budget a month earlier than we did last year so that you have time to process through that. So come February, we will be presenting you with our proposed budget, with the caveat that we won't really know the revenue side yet. So I want to make sure that we emphasize that. Incorporated into our budget proposal will be a proposed pay increase plan that takes into account all those things we've been discussing these last few months. Some income from in pay for some of our lowest paid staff members, supplements for arts, athletics, and academic supplements. We plan we're looking at that right now and plan to bring you a proposal based on what we hope we get funded from the county commission to try to meet some of those needs of our staff members. I'm going to give you an early thanks. Vicki Hall, I know you and your team, in conjunction with the Williamson County Education Association, have been spending time discussing that. So I wanted to give you guys a heads up that that is coming. Finally, I got to share this. We mentioned last week that the ACT data for our most recent graduates, our 2024 seniors, actually came out last week on January 7th. So they were running about 6 months in arrears on getting us the full data. But I just am so proud that our students were #1 in the state. We were the highest performing school district on ACT in the state this past year. There were lots of details of the stats that make us extra proud of what our students are doing and what our teachers are doing in supporting them. But I want to emphasize this key point. Those ACT scores, the college and career technical education certifications, the DECA students, all those student activities open doors for our students. And so it does my heart good to see that, especially hearing from the students, as you mentioned, Mr. Chair. With that is what I think, Mr. Chair, is a 4 to 5 minute summary of our 4-hour meeting back at the work session. I want to introduce to you Ms. Carol Birdsong, who is going to give us some student and staff spotlights.
We're going to continue celebrating, y'all. And we are going to start tonight with national, yes, first place national awards. This is one of my favoriteest things. National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. These are the folks that produce the Emmys. These are the student awards. And this is Michael Gorskowski and David Ward. They are at Brentwood High School, and they won a national award for commercial video production. Their commercial was called Stickers. And Sloan Ashworth is their teacher. Also, Franklin High School's Anna Ray Jones. Fabulous, talented young lady, won an Emmy for Best Sports Story or Segment. I'm not supposed to call it an Emmy. Won a student award for Best Sports Story or Segment for her film 22 Games. Her teacher is Carrie Thompson. Congratulations to those national award winners. And now, let's move to athletics, where we have Mr. Tennessee. This seems like it happened so long ago, but we haven't had a meeting to recognize Eric Hazard from Page High School, who is your Class 5A Tennessee Titans Mr. Football. His coach is Charles Rathbone. And then over at Ravenwood, Donovan Starr is your Class 6A Tennessee Titans Mr. Football. Donovan's coach is Will Hester. So now we're going to move to the cheerleaders. The Tennessee Cheer Coaches Association All-State Cheer Team from Brentwood High School. Skylar L. Krasinski, Blakely Schimmel, Ellie Grace Sneed, and Lily Vest. Their coach is Amanda Bisek. And from Fairview High School, Haley Hughes. Her coach is Paige Jones. And over at Page High School, Anna Kate Fox, and her coach is Aaron Holder. And then also, Ellie Grace was named the Cheerleader of the Year by the Tennessee Cheer Coaches Association. And again, she's from Brentwood High School. And now, y'all, it's so exciting that we have joined the Tennessee Middle School Athletic Association because we get to recognize some middle school students for their state championships. This is your Fairview Middle School Wrestling Team, and they are your state champions. Joe Brown is their coach. Over at Spring Station Middle, Addison Borden won the state championship in girls wrestling, the 114-pound category. Kobe DeSalle is Addison's coach. Now we're going to move on to the arts and to all-state band. From Brentwood High School, Jay Sung, Todd Glenn, and Leo Bai. Centennial High School All-State Band, Zachary Marlowe. From Franklin High School, Judy Shue, Finnegan Saylor, Lydia Smith, Ryan Marina, Adam Gallers. Nolensville High School, we have William Watson and Katie Shaw, All-State Band. All-State Band from Page High School, Eli Wallace, Sloan Armstrong, and Libby Greeno. And All-State Band, Ravenwood High School, we have Kaylin Dunley, Isabel Matzenbacher, Joseph McCoy, Ellie Park, and Edison Shin. And Summit High School, we have Adam Purdon, Soren McDaniel, Ewan Barr, and Nick Edwards. Now to All-State Orchestra, Brentwood High School, Joanna Lee, Jen Park, Eunice Young, Andrew Gann, Noah Kim, Oscar Zhu, Audrey, and Aaron Kim. From Franklin High School, this is Taylor Henry, All-State Orchestra. All-State Orchestra from Independence High School, William Hunkin Krause and Kirk Mulkey. From Nolensville High School, Ethan O. and Anna Mandrell. All-State Orchestra from Ravenwood High School, Alice Coe, Megan Lowe, Phoebe Kelso, Luca Hernandez-Palmer, Shayla McCullough, Claire Kwan, Ju He, and Jubin Park. And we have a staff spotlight from Brentwood High School. This is Rachel Little, National Association of Biology Teachers, Tennessee, Outstanding Biology Teacher of the Year. Congratulations to all of our students and staff members.
Mr. Chair, that's my report.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Golden? Okay, let's move on. Board chair report. I've got nothing to report tonight. Everything's quiet on the western front here. New business, approval of open closed zone schools. It's an annual agenda, and we're going to need a motion. Donna Clements, Tony Bostic, second. Going to open this up for discussion. I'd like to ask Superintendent Golden, though, to kind of give us an overview on this, so, it's new to a lot of people, so if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Annually, we recommend to you open zone schools based on a state law. Now, years ago, we've actually been doing this even prior to the state law. The state law changed a couple of things. So the basic structure is we evaluate the available seats at our schools. We project our growth at those particular schools over the window of time where our board policy may have a student at that school. For example, if a student attends an open zone school as a kindergartner, our policy establishes that they can stay at that school through the last grade or fifth grade, so they could be there 6 years. And so the numbers that we have for you are based on our projections of that. Now, the state structure requires that we have a window of time for families to choose this. We can't open the window until 2 weeks after your vote. And then our board policy closes the window on April 15th. So families have that window of time to make a request. We'll have an online request set up after that 2-week window opens. And then on April 15th, we will count the number of seats that have been selected or requested from families. If one of the schools have more seats selected than available seats, we will have a lottery based on the state law requirement for those seats. So far, I think if I'm not mistaken, we're the third year of this law with the required lottery. We have actually conducted one lottery, but there were enough families who changed their mind that we actually ended up not having to implement that lottery. But that's the basic structure of our recommendation. A couple of other items that we discuss as an administrative team, we look at construction that might be going on a particular campus in addition to the growth. Last year, those of you who were on the board last year, you may recall that Page High School was finishing up the last phase of their construction, but we determined that the impact of construction was such that we could open zone it. Likewise, we make that same recommendation this year for Brentwood High School and Brentwood Middle School. We project the construction will be finished to a point where the traffic flow will be fine. We'll still have some work to do on the exterior at Brentwood Middle School, but we do have a recommendation for open zoning. I want to give this caveat, finally, Mr. Chair, based on some discussion we had at the work session. This open zoning is for students living in Williamson County, in Williamson County schools. This is not an open zoning out of county. This is exclusively for those who live in county to choose another school within their, next to their zones. So certainly open any questions you may have.
Okay, open for discussion. Okay. Mr. Beasley?
Yes, sir. I just wanted you to give me that date again for open enrollment. I believe it was in March, and it was a 2-week window.
Thank you. We cannot open the window for 2 weeks after the board vote. So we will actually open the vote on, I'm actually looking for the date. Sorry, February 4th, thank you. So we will post this on our website February 4th. The deadline to submit applications is April 15th. So if you hear from any of your families, our recommendation is calendar February 4th, pull up our website for enrollment at that time.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mrs. Clement?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. And I think you said this at the work session, but I just wanted to make it clear for all families. Students may apply to more than one school, correct?
That
How
is-
many, and if so, how many, and
That is correct. We do not place a limit on that.
Okay.
Students can apply to any school. After the April 15th deadline, they will need to commit if they've been approved for multiple schools.
and then the only way to do it is to go through our website, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
And now I will say, if anybody has any questions, certainly we're open to phone calls. If someone doesn't have access, we'll help them, access to the electronic version, we'll help them through that.
I have one more. Sorry, I just realized one. Thank you. I know Brentwood Middle, I have some students zoned to that area. We have opened up for 100. Do you think once the completion will, once the construction is complete, do you think that there will be more? Or do we kind of keep that number low because of the construction? We're finalizing everything?
Thank you for that question. You've actually answered the question with your question. You were correct. It's been many years since we've opened Brentwood Middle for open zoning, and we've determined that it's an appropriate amount to make as a maximum. We are very curious as to how many students might choose it because it has been a few years. The students who could choose it were actually not even in school the last time we'd open zoned it. But yes, we want to make sure that we don't overcommit because our board policy actually allows an out-of-zone student to stay in that school until they finish. We even have a sibling clause where if a sibling comes with their older sibling, they can come. So we try to be very careful to minimize the risk that we over-open zone and end up having to rezone to deal with overdoing the open zone.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes, at the work session, I asked about Nolensville Elementary because we have 3 portables. Were you able to at least get an estimate of how many students might need to take advantage of open zone since Jordan has 93 spots open and Sunset Elementary has 18 spots open to possibly get rid of portables?
Thank you for that question. Some of this, of course, depends on growth.
Yeah.
But we do project if we had somewhere around 40 or so, and it depends on what grade level they fell, then we would have that possibility of removing those. Now, I will say, with a caveat that there's a cost to move those portables. You actually have to move them in the middle of the night and have a contract. So we would also do that evaluation and project out for the next year as well. 40 or so is my best estimate.
Okay, and I also just want to point out, this isn't really a question, but looking at the data, Mill Creek Elementary has 185 spots open, but because the middle school is at 117% capacity, we can't use those elementary spots, so.
That is correct. Thank you for pointing that out. A few of our schools that share space, for this purpose, we do look at both numbers. Mill Creek, Sunset, and Thompson Station.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, it's time to vote. If you're in favor of approving the open, closed school zoning, press your yes button if you approve it.
Oh, I do recommend approval.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The vote is 8 yes, 1 no.
Okay, 8 yes, 4 no. Well, that's approved, and that does it for the meeting, and we can adjourn. Thank you.